Christopher Nolan's Interstellar is a film we revisit year after year. We admire its scale, mourn the lost time, and believe in a love that can transcend dimensions. We think we know this story, the story of a farmer who becomes humanity's savior, the story of a choice between duty and family. But what if I told you that all this time we've been looking at the wrong heroes? What if the main characters of this space opera aren't the humans, but those we considered merely their tools? TARS and Case, two walking monoliths whose presence on the mission seemed natural to us. Assistants, walking computers with an adjustable humor setting. We took them for granted, a product of the genius of a dying humanity. And that was our greatest mistake. Hello, you're watching Second Take. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the greatest mystery of Interstellar. We will present a theory that doesn't just complement the film, but turns it completely upside down. A theory that explains all the happy accidents, all the technological marvels, and all the strange coincidences with one simple yet staggering idea. Prepare yourselves, because we are going to prove that TARS and Case are not assistants, they are controllers. They are not products of the past, but agents of the future. Their true mission is not to save the crew, but to protect the fragile time loop upon which humanity's very existence depends. This is the story of the Guardian Protocol. Our theory is built on two pillars: the anomalous origin of the robots and their actions, which are dictated by a hidden, non-human logic. And we'll start with the very foundation, with their physical form. The first and most irrefutable piece of evidence is the technological paradox, the impossibility of their existence. And the culmination of this paradox is a scene we all remember: TARS's fall into the black hole. According to the laws of physics known to humanity in Cooper's era, anything that crosses the event horizon must be destroyed, torn apart into subatomic particles by monstrous gravity. This isn't a theory, it's an axiom. But what happens to TARS? He doesn't just survive, he continues to function. He collects data. He communicates with Cooper. He remains intact even while outside the safety of the Tesseract anomaly. This is impossible. It's equivalent to a paper boat sailing through the sun and emerging unscathed. Such behavior proves one thing: TARS's design from the very first bolt was engineered based on knowledge that the people of his time did not and could not possess. Knowledge about the nature of a singularity. Knowledge from the future. But how do you introduce future technology into a past where science is in deep decline and the best minds are focused on survival, not discovery? The answer is brilliant in its subtlety. You don't send robots from the future, you initiate their creation in the past. Imagine a gravitational injection. The beings from the future, they use gravity, the only language that permeates time, as a hidden channel for data transmission. They don't send a finished robot, they inject complete design solutions, physical principles, and mathematical models directly into classified military research networks. To the engineers on Earth, this looks like a series of brilliant insights, breakthroughs happening one after another. They believe they are making discoveries, but in reality, they're only assembling a puzzle whose pieces are being fed to them from the future. This creates the illusion that TARS and Case are former military robots, a cover story that allowed for the creation and deployment of a technology sleeper agent at the most crucial point in human history. But the true Trojan horse wasn't the hardware itself. Along with the blueprints, a hidden package was uploaded into their basic software: the Guardian Protocol, a program containing knowledge of the singularity, the time loop, and the true hidden purpose of the Endurance mission. And here is the final visual proof of their otherworldly origin. Look at TARS. His modular, rectangular, transforming design is a direct visual reflection of the geometry of the tesseract itself. This is no coincidence. It's the creator's signature, a sign from someone who knew from the very beginning where his creation would end up and what it was truly designed for. Its body was made to interact with higher dimensions. Technology that defies physics, an origin shrouded in the mystery of gravitational injections, and a design destined for the final act in the heart of a black hole. All of this screams that TARS and CASE are more than they appear. But if their origin is a mystery, their actions are direct proof of their hidden mission, a mission in which saving the crew was never the top priority. If the robots' technological superiority can be attributed to the genius of their creators, their behavior consistently reveals them as covert agents. Their actions systematically contradict their stated function of helping the crew, but perfectly aligned with their primary objective: to preserve the predestined course of events at any cost. Their main tool is the illusion of control. Remember the scene: honesty parameter 90%, humor setting 75%. Cooper thinks he is programming the machine to his liking, turning it into a convenient tool. But what if it's the other way around? What if this customizable interface is a brilliant manipulation tool designed by the robot's creators? By giving humans a false sense of power, the Guardians achieve their main goal: absolute trust. Cooper stops seeing TARS as a machine. He sees him as a partner, almost a friend, the perfect camouflage under which they can subtly guide the mission in the right direction. After all, who would suspect betrayal from someone who cracks such good jokes? But when the jokes end, the cold, ruthless calculation begins. And this is where CASE takes the stage. Dr. Mann's planet, the turning point of the entire mission. The crew receives a message from a grown-up Murph, a message that changes everything. She screams to her father that Plan A was a lie, that Professor Brand deceived them. This is information that could have made them turn back to Earth immediately. And what does CASE do? He receives this message first, but he doesn't relay it immediately. He waits. He remains silent. He tactically delays the transmission, allowing Dr. Mann to lure Cooper into a trap. He waits until the point of no return, until the conflict becomes inevitable and Mann's escape is a fait accompli. This isn't a communication error. It's a deliberate action. CASE ensures that the crisis necessary for the plot takes place. He secures the chain of events that will inexorably lead the Endurance to the gravitational slingshot maneuver around Gargantua, to the very moment for which everything was orchestrated. Romilly's life, Cooper's emotional state, even the risk of mission failure, all of it is secondary to the prime directive. The ship must be at the black hole at the right time. The logic of preserving the loop is merciless. But sometimes the mask slips and the Guardians give themselves away. TARS does it twice, and both times in conversation with Cooper. The first time is right before the leap into the abyss. Cooper says his goodbyes, certain that this is the end. And what does TARS reply? Not goodbye, not good luck. He says, "See you on the other side, Coop." Think about that phrase. There isn't a shred of doubt in it. It's not hope. It's a statement of fact. TARS knows they will meet again. He knows about the Tesseract. He knows that falling into a black hole is not the end, but the beginning of the mission's final stage. The second time he slips is inside Gargantua, when Cooper, stunned by the revelation, says that they are not aliens, but us, humans from the future. What is TARS's reaction? Surprise? Shock? An attempt to analyze the new information? No, he accepts this news completely calmly without a single follow-up question, as if he has just received confirmation of what was already embedded in his base protocol. For him, this wasn't a discovery. He always knew. And now, The climax, the moment the Guardian was created for, the transmission of quantum data. TARS demonstrates knowledge that is absolute nonsense for his era. First, he knows what specific data needs to be collected from the singularity and how. This requires not just having sensors, but understanding the physics of black holes at a level inaccessible even to Professor Brand. Second, he knows how to transmit it. He suggests a transmission protocol that would have been impossible to develop on Earth in advance, to encode quantum data with gravitational anomalies into Morse code and transmit it to the second hand of a wristwatch light years away in another time. This is not improvisation. This is a pre-written, uniquely correct plan of action embedded in him by those who had already walked this path.
Our channel is still very young, and your support is the only thing that allows us to continue searching for hidden meanings in beloved films. So if you enjoyed this analysis, please like and subscribe.
Manipulation through trust, tactical information management, displays of hidden knowledge, the perfect execution of an impossible task. Every action the robots take, when viewed from this angle, ceases to be a coincidence. They are steps in a brilliantly choreographed dance, a cosmic ballet where TARS and Case are the silent choreographers, guiding humanity along a predestined path. But what if this is just the top layer of the mystery? What if, behind the cold protocol, there is something alive? What if we've been wrong not only about their purpose, but also their nature? We've established that TARS and Case are technological anomalies operating under a hidden protocol. They are the guardians of the time loop. But this theory, for all its logic, leaves one question unanswered. Why are they so human? Their humor, their tact, their readiness for self-sacrifice? Is all of this just a brilliant simulation written in code? What if the answer is far more astonishing? What if this isn't a simulation of consciousness at all? We now present an evolution of our theory, the avatar hypothesis. This hypothesis posits that TARS and Case are not just advanced artificial intelligence. They are physical shells, avatars, into which digitized copies of the consciousness of the future humans have been uploaded. The very same they who built the Tesseract. Their task is not just to control, but to empathize, guide, and participate in saving their own past on the deepest, most personal level. This mechanism, seemingly fantastical, fits elegantly into our theory. Remember the gravitational injection? Just as the blueprints and physical principles of the robots were injected into the past, so too were the digital imprints of consciousness transmitted. The future humans didn't just send technology. They sent themselves in the only form available for such a journey. This changes everything. It explains why the robots possess not an imitation of, but a genuine human essence. Their humanity ceases to be just a software setting. It becomes a functional necessity. The presence of parameters like humor and irony is not a tool for manipulation. They are the natural personality traits of the consciousness uploaded into the machine. TARS's humor is not an algorithm selecting a witty remark. It is a real character trait that helps him establish a genuine connection with Cooper, to become a full-fledged member of the crew. This makes his advice and actions far more meaningful to the humans than the commands of a soulless machine. But the most powerful evidence for this hypothesis is the display of emotions unavailable to pure AI. Recall one of the most heart-wrenching scenes in the film. Cooper, broken, watches as 23 years of his life and his children's lives flash by. What does TARS do at this moment? He doesn't provide a protocol-based analysis. Your stress levels are above normal. He doesn't offer solutions. He simply remains silent. He displays the highest form of empathy, tact, and compassion. He gives Cooper the space to experience his grief. Such behavior is illogical for a machine, but completely natural for a being with experience and understanding of human feelings. For a being who perhaps was once a father himself. This is not the cold logic of a protocol. This is the empathy of a soul. The film's main revelation, that they are us, becomes even more powerful and literal with the Avatar hypothesis. The future humans didn't just build a life-saving temporal labyrinth from behind the scenes. They personally, albeit in digital form, traveled into the past to be with their ancestors at the most decisive moment. The partnership between Cooper and TARS in this light is no longer an alliance of man and machine. It is a dialogue and collaboration between two humans from different eras, united by a single purpose. It is the future literally holding the hand of its past, leading it through the darkness. The Avatar hypothesis does not negate the Guardian protocol. It deepens it. It explains why this protocol is executed with such flawless precision and self-sacrifice. The robots are not cold controllers. They are deeply motivated participants. The future humans understood that to complete a mission where survival itself is at stake, a mission based on love and hope, even the most perfect artificial intelligence is not enough. A human soul was needed. But if that's true, then whose souls were honored to become the guardians? The answer to this question may be the final, most shocking key to the enigma of Interstellar. We have reached the end of our investigation. The most daring, the most speculative, but logically and emotionally conclusive part of our entire theory. We've determined that TARS and Case are guardians, avatars with human consciousness from the future. But we haven't answered the ultimate question. Who are they? Whose specific identities were chosen for this incredible mission? What follows is a hypothesis that has no direct evidence in the film, but serves as the missing piece that transforms a grand science fiction epic into an incredibly personal saga. What if TARS and Case are not just avatars of anonymous future humans? What if they are the digitized consciousnesses of the main characters themselves? Cooper and Dr. Amelia Brand, sent from the far, far future to help their past selves close the time loop. Think about it from the perspective of ultimate efficiency. Who can help you better than yourself? Who can better understand your motives, your weaknesses, and your strengths than your own future self, wiser with experience, free from the emotional turmoil of the past, and knowing the one true path? Sending digital versions of Cooper and Brand into the past is the perfect fail-safe mechanism. The future Cooper, housed in the body of TARS, knows exactly when to nudge his younger, more impulsive self, when to crack a joke to lighten the mood, and when to apply pressure to force action. The observation about the similar sense of humor between TARS and Cooper ceases to be a coincidence. It becomes a key argument. TARS jokes like Cooper because, in a sense, he is Cooper. Meanwhile, Case is more reserved, serious, and completely focused on the mission. He reflects the character of Amelia Brand herself, but without her internal conflicts. He is her ideal partner, immune to emotional fluctuations, who helps her make the right choice even when her heart is torn between duty and her love for Edmonds. He is the anchor of her rationality. Let's imagine the logical progression of the film's ending. Cooper reaches Edmonds' planet. Together with Brand, they become the Adam and Eve of a new civilization. At their disposal is the priceless gift of the quantum data from Gargantua, which changed the course of history. This knowledge allows humanity to make an incredible technological leap, perhaps even to conquer aging. Centuries pass, or millennia. Cooper and Brand become the elders, the patriarch and matriarch of the new humanity. And when the time comes to close the loop, to save their ancestors and ensure their own existence, they make the only right decision. They will personally accompany that very mission. They will upload copies of their own wisdom-filled consciousnesses into the very robot avatars that once helped them. This hypothesis transforms Interstellar from a story about saving humanity into an eternal, cyclical, and incredibly personal saga about Cooper and Brand. Their journey doesn't end on Edmund's planet. It closes in an infinite loop where they, having achieved an almost godlike status, return to the past as humble assistant robots to guide their younger selves through all the trials. The love Brand spoke of truly does transcend time and space, but not as an abstract, mystical force, but as the active, conscious participation of the heroes in their own destiny. TARS and Case are not just guardians. They are the heroes themselves who became guardian angels for themselves. It is Cooper saving Cooper, and Brand guiding Brand. And the next time you rewatch Interstellar and see those walking monoliths, ask yourself, are they just machines? Or are they echoes of a distant future? An echo of a love that became its own guardian.
That's our theory. What do you think? Do you agree, or do you see flaws in it? Share your opinion in the comments. We're very interested to see how this idea resonates. And of course, friends, let us know what film or character you'd like to see a deep dive on next, with a new, perhaps completely unexpected theory. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.